summoning to a mission, a ever greater kind of mission. That kept me going. I always found it, I don't know, the most compelling option on the table. It always struck me that way. As you look at the options of life, like, well, serving God, yeah, duh. Wouldn't that be the most exciting?
That's the thing is, that's it, is that apart from the terror that might reasonably evoke, it is the best by definition. And again, you could just speak psychologically here. By definition, that's the best game you can play.
That's how it struck me when I was a kid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's almost a tautology,
Right. It struck me that way. So, and I understand everyone's different. Everyone's path is different. But that's how it struck me, how grace, I would say, entered my life. And I've been a priest now for 5 years? Bishop now for 5 years. I've never been unhappy as a priest. I mean, I've suffered certainly and have gone through difficult times. I've never been unhappy though as a priest. I've never been tempted to leave. Never felt like, oh God, why did I do that? I've never felt that.
And this social media enterprise of yours, when I introduced you, I noted that you're perhaps the most well-known Catholic speaker in social media circles. I think that's a reasonable presupposition. Do you have competitors, so to speak?
Oh yeah, there are some people. I was one of the pioneers in a way, because I know like when YouTube first got started, it was 2006. By early 2007, I did a review of Scorsese's movie, The Departed. Because my instinct was, let's talk about the culture. Let's talk about things going on that have a religious overtone, So I started early 2007, right when YouTube got off the ground. And then everything else, Facebook and Instagram came along. And then others sort of saw what I was doing and got into the game too. But I guess I was one of the first ones to do it. Not that I know that world that well. I got all these young people that help me navigate that world. But I've been providing a lot of the content.
And so what's that been like, and how is that received by your peers or your superiors for that matter?
I would say, well, to answer the second part first, I think they saw, oh yeah, this is good. I'm glad he's doing it. I'm glad someone is taking the initiative. And they began asking me early on, like, hey, tell us more about this and how are you doing it and what are the pitfalls and how's it working? So I think my superiors have always been, very open to it, interested in it. When I've spoken now that I'm a bishop, I'll speak at the bishop's conference meetings about it. And there's always tremendous interest. Now, these are all older men for the most part. They don't know, Facebook from, French fries, but they get it. They get the importance of it and why it's worth doing. And the success of it in a way has been a source of surprise and delight to me. When I started YouTube videos, I mean, we thought if we got 300 views, we're doing great. I was thrilled when my first one got to 300 views. And then it just grew. It just grew from there. And I think it was a willingness to talk about the culture and then engage people. So I can't do it as much now, but in the early days, I would get in the comm boxes and I would really enter into these debates. And, as 97% of people that come on comm boxes are mad at you for some reason, or they, don't like what you're saying. So, okay, I was able then to at least have an argument. I could get into the, lists with them.
Well, so I'll tell you, it's interesting you say that, because I've certainly met my fair share of opposition in the media domain, let's say, especially with, the legacy media. But I'm stunned by the positivity of the comments. It's absolutely overwhelming. I can't really make heads or tails of it, that it's so consistent, and it's been very sustaining to me. So, and I guess the reason I think that's the case is because I think I'm encouraging people, who haven't had any encouragement or enough, and that's lots of people, maybe everyone, because I mean, how much people should be encouraged to the ultimate degree, right? They should say, well, you want to reveal the divine within in your own particular way. You could do that. And
I'm curious about, you did the Reddit AMA, didn't you, a couple times? Well, I did that. I've done it twice now. And I think one year I was like, you were first and I was third. And not because they knew me. I'm sure they didn't. But I just got on and said, I'm a Catholic bishop who loves to dialogue with non-believers and atheists or something.
Right.
And
so you were asking, also inviting some pushback there as well. So.
Yeah, but it was, I loved it. We got an enormous response. Now, a fair amount of obscenity and just people that hate religion. See, part of it might be religion, that I'm so institutionally identified with religion, so all that. But I love both times I did that. The questions that emerged and the themes that emerged were very illuminating to me, you know. So no, I've loved that world too, of entering into it. And it's, you know, it certainly gets attention. People watch these videos, and then I've done a lot of, you know, writing and so on, longer form things. I've done documentary films as well about.
And so what
the
kind of
Catholic
crowd
faith.
are you getting now with your YouTube channel and your podcast? What's your audience numbers?
Yeah, we're at like 77 million or something, you know, total views.
Oh yeah. On your channel?
Yeah. Wow,
that's a lot. Are people cutting up your videos and posting them in pieces as well?
Yeah, sometimes. I'm trying to think like an average. It depends on the type of video we're doing, but yeah, we're getting, you know, good numbers, solid numbers. Not in your ballpark, but
well, 77 million total views is like, that's far beyond respectable. That's, I mean, you'd think about comparing that to something like a published book. I mean, YouTube has a reach that's absolutely staggering.
Right, and I appreciate that very much. You know, that all these different forms, and then that's just YouTube. You know, then you have all the other forms of social media. So, you know, look, as an evangelist, as someone trying to speak for the church, I'm delighted by that. And you know, we just did it. We just, as you did. I mean, I think the first video of yours I saw, you were in like a poorly lit room, sitting in this chair, talking about Nietzsche or something. And I thought, wow, this guy. Someone said, oh, he's getting these enormous numbers, and I thought, wow. But it speaks to the fact
wasn't the production quality that was doing it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was the content and the willingness to talk about important ideas and to do it in a way that respects the audience. I think all that is worthwhile. You know.
Well, look, that was really good. We got nice and deep into it. I appreciate that very much.
Loved it.
I wish it could have gone on longer. I had more questions, but I think I've exhausted my capacity for concentration.
Oh, yeah. We went for a couple hours, huh?
Yes. Well, it's a good natural end, I would say as well.
Yeah. No, I loved it, Jordan. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. You know.
Anything else that you want to say, or that we didn't cover, or
just, you know, tell your wife's name is Tammy, right?
Yes.
Tell her, you know, we just came out with it. It's on YouTube, a series of reflections I did on the rosary. And I know with her interest in the rosary that she just go on YouTube and check it out. She might find that interesting.
Yeah, it's too bad we didn't have a chance to talk to about that, because
but just tell her that, because I love the rosary